Hi, I'm Katrina, and this is Boldly Challenging Ableism. I'm your host, Katrina Simons. I'm the Community Program Specialist at the Institute on Community Integration at the University of Minnesota. This program explores various topics that impact people with disabilities in our community. Each episode addresses a different aspect of our society within the context of ableism. Ableism is the prejudice that stems from the belief or belief system that assumes someone is less capable or less worthy because of a real or perceived difference in ability or function. On this program, we hope to answer some questions you may have been afraid to ask, or maybe some you didn't even know you had. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ableism. Welcome back. We're on season 2. Woo! We made it through season 1. All right, I'm so excited because today we're meeting with my friend Haley, who I met through the Lived Experience Partnership Program at Gillette. How long have we known each other for now, Haley?
As long as we've needed to.
About a year and a half. Right?
That's quite possible. Yeah.
I know. And we've seen each other on Zoom like dozens of times.
But actually in person once.
One time.
Mm-hmm.
So, post-pandemic life. Right. But Haley has a son whose name is Felix. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about Felix and her show, Rarely Familiar, which is a really good show. You guys should check it out.
It's not nearly as professional as this one, but
it was excellent. I love being on it. Haley, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to kick off this new season. My name is Haley Brunelle. I like to say I wear many hats. I am the Family Engagement and Research Coordinator at Gillette Children's, which is where Katrina and I met. She is one of our lived experience partners there. That's really kind of a fancy way of saying I'm kind of the liaison between like science and real life. I help make sure families and lived experience partners really have a seat at the table. And we are part of the design process versus kind of added as an afterthought. But before that, I spent about 16 years or so in the design and marketing industry. And basically that just means I have like a love for creative problem solving. I teach yoga for disability through Mind Body Solutions. If you haven't tried it, Katrina, you should. It's good for you.
I got kicked out of yoga because I wouldn't stop talking.
Oh, well,
I'll try again though.
Use the voice inside your head. But we're supposed to quiet the voice inside our head.
I know. I really struggled with that part. I'll try again though. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, do it. Give it a try. Mind Body Solutions. I'm also the co-founder of, as Katrina mentioned, Rarely Familiar. It's a podcast and a community really for parents and caregivers of children with disabilities and medical complexities. So many hats, right? But the most important job I have is CEO of Team Felix, my amazing 8-year-old Felix, who I love more than anything.
And can you tell us a little bit about just a little tiny bit about when Felix was born and how your life was?
I was just talking to somebody yesterday about it feels like I had this it was like pre-Felix and post-Felix, and these are like two drastically different lives. Pre-Felix, I'm working, I'm thinking I'll take a 3-month maternity leave and jump right back into work. And then, then you have the ultrasound when somebody comes in and says, something's not quite, So we knew in utero that he was going to have some challenges. And we chose to proceed and give him the best shot at life. And I hope to God I'm giving him the best shot at life. That is my most important job. But he was born with a really rare genetic condition. And, it impacts his whole body and his brain somewhat. But it doesn't stop him. He is just a fantastic human.
And what is Felix's number one thing that he loves? I love this. This is my favorite.
Are you talking about the cell phone towers?
Yes. Like the cell phone towers.
He loves cell phone towers. He he's actually convinced his third grade teacher to let him give a presentation about cell phone towers in class, because he feels like everyone needs to know that there are like monopoles and Gaia towers and all different kinds of cell phone towers. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be creepy, but if you wanted to film it and send me that film, I would watch it.
Yeah, he's going to present using his AAC, using his talker, we call it. I told him we can like design some PowerPoint slides and stuff. It'll be pretty cool.
I'm so excited for Felix.
Yeah, he's an amazing kid. I mean, he is my best teacher, hands down, best teacher.
Well, and okay, so if we're on the radio, and then Haley and I haven't talked yet about if Felix will be part of the picture that she sends in for this, but he is so adorable, you guys, and he drives his own power chair. He's only 9. It's really, really, really cute.
Yeah, I'm a little biased, but he does have like a head of curly blonde, like those perfect beach waves. I know you've got curls. We need to maybe share product advice.
When I was little, I had a fro.
Oh, okay. His aren't that tight.
Yeah, mine has gone away.
I think there's like curl levels, but like he's pretty darn cute.
Yeah, he's
and he drives his power chair way too fast in the halls. I told him, instead of like, getting in trouble for it, like give him tickets or make it fun. Like he's been getting in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a power chair in elementary school, but I don't like it when people ask me if I have a license for it.
Well, yeah, there's
Except
that.
when I run into your wall and put a hole in it, which I have done, then you can ask me if I have a license. Fair enough. Or if I'm driving impaired. So, can I ask how old Felix is? You don't have to tell us if you don't.
Yeah, he's 8. Yeah, he's 8. He's in 3rd grade. He like I said, he uses both a manual and a power chair. He has autism and ADHD, bilateral hearing loss. He communicates verbally, but uses an AAC to be like clearly understood. Mm-hmm. So technically, I mean, does that mean he's bilingual? I don't know. Is that
okay? For those that either don't remember or are just joining us for season 2, AAC stands for augmentative alternative communication, and it's when somebody uses usually a device that has voice output. You can also use like picture sheets or pieces of paper and all these words that I'm forgetting. There's so many ways you can do it.
It is an amazing tool that we have.
Yep. But it's a way that people can communicate if they have trouble speaking with their mouth. And some people use it 100% instead of speaking, but most children especially use it as an augmentative way to communicate, so they can have total communication and as many ways to communicate as possible. If you need more information on that and you're interested in it, you can Google augmentative alternative communication. And there's just so many cool things that'll come up. It'll be really overwhelming, but it's really awesome. There's
a show on PBS right now. Did you see it? Have you heard of this?
No.
There's like a kids show. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
There's a kids show on PBS. I think it's called like Carl the Collector or something. And it features a kid with autism that uses an AAC. I just thought I found out about it last night. I thought it was so cool. But yeah, I think we're normalizing some of this stuff, which is awesome.
So cool. And then there's I know this is a little bit dated, but Daniel Tiger had a person with I think crutches and braces, and Sesame Street has Julia. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the puppeteer for Julia, who has autism, is the mother of an autistic child.
See?
So that's awesome. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. I think the more and more we start to just make this a part of, allow kids like Felix to just be seen, right? Like integrate them. I think for so long we've thought like, let's hide them away or, put them in, they need to be in a classroom by themselves. It's like, absolutely not.
Or even if we don't hide them away, let's minimize whatever that we're uncomfortable with.
Right. It's our problem. It's all about us, Yeah. But yeah, he's just an awesome human. And I want to be clear too, like while I share things about his disability, I want to make it clear that it is part of his identity, but he is not his diagnosis, right? So I'm determined to help him have pride in his disability and what makes him unique and interesting. But, I'm always checking in with him. Like, how do you want to talk about this? And, now that he's been a lot more communicative, allowing him to make the choices for himself has been really empowering for him.
And I first saw Felix at the Disability Pride festival in June of 2024 or July of 2024. And but I didn't want to go up to him, even though I was like, that is the coolest kid I've ever seen. And he's actually really good at driving his chair. And I'm a little bit jelly because I was like, well, is that singling him out because he's, younger? And then I'm like, you should have come up and said hi. So, I mean,
I think we're always filtering ourselves too. And it's like, I'm afraid of what I should say, or am I saying something wrong? Or I think it's so helpful for us to have these conversations and just educate ourselves, but then not be afraid to just be ourselves too, right?
Yeah.
We're human and we're going to make mistakes.
And I think what I love about Felix, I've only met him once in person. I met him, maybe twice. Either once or twice in person, can't remember which. I think only once. Yeah, I think only once. What I love about Felix is he is so authentically himself, even at 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. And he will. I mean, if he decides he needs to shut down, he shuts down, and there's not anything anybody's going to do about it.
Well, and he goes where he wants to go. He does what he wants to do, and
oh yeah, we are exploring. I mean, definitely that power chair has given him a lot of independence, and we were having a party over at our house not too long ago, and like we have a decent amount of like driveway and stuff, and at one point I couldn't find him, and like I had never had that like experience before.
You're like, oh no, we didn't talk about this,
right? Like I wasn't prepared. I'm like, are you down? I'm like envisioning him down the street, and he was with his dad in the back. Yeah.
Oh, so somebody had eyes on him.
That thing goes 7 miles an hour. It's scary.
I have that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Or a model that goes that fast too. So what's the how has disability impacted your life in positive ways? Other than that, you've already talked about a little bit.
I think how strong and really funny this community is. I think we use humor a lot. And I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism, or probably. But I think we can go down. Like I personally can downward spiral really quickly. And so I want to surround myself with people who are positive and fun and energy like yours. I found those people, and maybe it's like the energy you put out there comes back to you. I don't know. I think, and people are resourceful, right? Like you see people like MacGyvering their wheelchair with like duct tape and hair ties and gum, whatever they've got around, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think I would say the generosity too. People are always just sharing like, equipment or, tips or like goofy memes if you're like having a bad day or whatever. It's like everybody knows how hard it is. And so it's like, what can I do to make your life easier?
It's almost like, okay, so every challenge is always unique, obviously. And you can't think that somebody else's journey without, really empathizing and trying. But it's almost like some of the aspects that are hard are universal. And so we all come together to try and help.
And I think like I started out thinking like, oh, Felix has such a rare condition. Like I'm never going to find anybody that's, exactly, has exactly that. But I've come to realize that it's really just about the disability community in general. That's where the community is for us, because there are so many more similarities in that community than, all these little idiosyncrasies of like different medical complexities and things. Like there's a lot of commonality in that group.
Yeah. Well, and I still think that, and I don't know if this applies, if everybody else thinks this, or if this even applies to everybody, but I still think that above all, you're still just trying to be human, which everyone is, no matter which identity you're grappling with. And then what are some of the harder things that you have encountered so far?
Well, I mean, I think that's why we need to, build humor into our day-to-day, because like life is hard, I mean, like getting
Mhm.
basic medical equipment, like, or meds, like medication that are truly medically necessary, sometimes life-saving. It feels like applying for a mortgage, like with
Right. The
less
amount
paperwork.
of
Yeah, like
paperwork that I do
it's
before I even get to work is
it's out of
crazy.
control, like what you have to prove, to get the thing that you need. I mean, some of these barriers, I think, I don't know, they're unnecessary. I think there are simpler solutions, and to me, it comes down to have people with lived experience design the system, have them design the research, have them design the thing. It's just it's harder than it needs to be, and I think and that emotional toll too. I don't want this to go like downward
Right.
spiral,
No,
because I can do that quickly. But
yeah.
I think the constantly having to educate people is hard. And there's a lot as parents. I think there's a lot expected of us too. Not we have to be full-time parents and policy experts and advocates and therapists and teachers, and it just goes on and on and on. I like to joke that I really deserve an honorary nursing degree.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you do.
it's
There was an article in the Star Tribune. It was a couple of years ago now, which probably means it was like 5 to 7 years ago. And it talked about the amount of money that the state saved by parents doing actual nursing duties for their children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, on the spot, I can't remember how much money it was, but it was like an exorbitant amount.
Yet we are still trying to give them less.
Yeah.
And less and less.
Yeah.
And it just boils my blood.
Yeah.
I can get political real quick too, so
yeah.
I'll stop there.
All right. Can you tell us about your podcast, Rarely Familiar?
Sure. It's three moms. We were all kind of in a yoga class together, and I was teaching like yoga for caregivers of parents of kids with special healthcare needs. It was like part yoga, part support group. These people were just desperate for connection. And so the three of us started like meeting regularly, and we couldn't find a platform that was like easy to find and remember, low commitment, secular, local, like not an affiliate, a religious affiliation, and then local, because there's so much nuance that comes with navigating all of this on a state by state basis. Like you can look at it federally, and that's one thing. But the states, there's just so many differences state to state. And the resources are local. And so I think that local connection is really important, because the isolation is real. Like you just feel like nobody understands. If you're not a part of this community already, you're just like, you're flailing. So we wanted a way to kind of break it down into more bite-sized chunks, enter in when you need to, like scroll through a list of things and like, oh, that topic interests me. I can throw an earbud in and listen to it, or I can go on your resources page or look at your events calendar, see if there's something, interest. I try and, pull events from all different places, and put them on an events calendar.
I feel like I'm maybe not an expert, because there are people who are like literally content experts in the disability sort of arena or field, and they charge a bunch of money and they make lots of money and they have all these Instagrams and stuff. That is not me, but I feel like I'm fairly well versed, and I was blown away by the variety of topics that you guys cover on your.
Yeah. I mean, because we do so much, right? There's the government, the policy, the medical, the therapy, the support, it covered education. It just travel. I mean, God, if there's one thing I'd change, it's like transportation. Can we help, please?
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that's really cool about Rarely Familiar is that you're all medical moms. And I always think I think everything's important in the disability community, and there's not a single area of advocacy where I'm like, okay, we're done there, we can check it off. But I think a really important thing for people to think about is that we, especially now with all the medical and technological advancements that we have, we have so many more people living at home who otherwise would have either been like dead or in a hospital setting, and we need to get community supports for those people. And I think that your podcast does a really good job of bringing that to the forefront. And
Thank
so
you.
we can know what like a CAC waiver is and what why we need reimbursement improvement for home nursing care and things like that. So
oh my gosh, parents do so much at home, and kids, I mean, we know kids thrive at home. I had a sister growing up. I had a stepsister, and when I was like 7 or 8, you know, all I knew was that she was in an institution. That's what people did in the 70s. You know, she's in her late 50s now, and she's in a rural, you know, group home in Illinois, and she's doing well.
okay.
I would not have made the decisions that were made, but you know, I know you like to say like we did the best with the information that we had at the time, right?
That's kind of thing.
Right. I think it's good. It's good. I need to remember that because otherwise I can get very critical. But I think that, you know, having had that and kind of grown up with that and seeing, okay, could life have been better for her? Absolutely. Could she have done more? Potentially? Yes. So it just gives me more of a drive now to give Felix the best shot that I can, give him the supports and services that he needs and deserves. Keep him in the home, you know, modify our home as we need to deal with a power wheelchair or get him to, you know, the place that he needs to go in his home. It still costs less, way less to keep kids in their home. I mean, we've done the numbers. It's a no-brainer. Yet we're still perpetuating the, you know, group homes and institutions and things.
Well, I think you're doing a really good job. I'm pretty sure you're giving Felix his very, very, very best shot.
I'm terrified of ever showing up ableist. Like that is my biggest fear. And I'm trying so hard to educate myself. And I'm so glad you're doing this podcast because I think I've listened to almost every episode and I'm learning so much. But I will continue to put my foot in my mouth, I'm sure.
Well, and I think part of that is that you are raising a child in an ableist world during cancel culture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of additional pressure that I didn't feel when I was, you know, learning how to be a member of the disability community. And I think part of it is that we're all just human and we make mistakes even though we don't want to.
Right. And I'm willing to make mistakes and admit my mistakes and start over and say, you know what, I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
I'm showing up.
Everybody sees them. Like that was not the issue, you know, a decade or two ago. So that does make it more difficult.
Right. I'm putting myself out there. But I think if more people put themselves out there and just start trying, it gives permission for other people to feel vulnerable and do the same thing instead of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd rather be out there screwing up than sitting back and doing nothing.
Right. Like it's better to try than not try at all.
Absolutely.
Even though sometimes when I'm in this situation, I get nervous and I wonder if I did the right thing. I get in my head a lot, and I wonder if we didn't live in such a cancel culture that I would. I mean, part of that's just my personality that I would be in my head anyway. But I wonder if we didn't live in such a cancel culture, would I be in my head quite as often?
Right. You know, it's a reality. It can definitely happen. I think the more we try and push for that culture change, you know, I mean, do your best. Keep showing up. That's the best. Yeah. I mean, like you said, we're doing the best with the information we have now.
Yeah. Well, Haley, we have to wrap up, but this has been delightful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really.
Do you have any last minute things you want to say, or you'd like to ask, or any?
No, I don't know. I've learned so much from you, and just like keep doing it. Never get discouraged. I have learned so much, and especially the adult disability community. I think I have an 8-year-old, right? I want people that can be an example for him
Yeah.
But through me, like I want to learn through you. I want to learn through, other adults with disabilities and learn the right way and the right things to do, and how to be the best ally and that person with ancillary lived experience. You're doing the hard part. The rest of us just kind of have to catch up, right?
No, I think it's all hard, but it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm right on the other end of the phone, so text me anytime.
Will do.
I'm bored a lot in the winter. And
all right.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us at Boldly today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Boldly, Challenging Ableism is a co-production of AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and the Institute on Community Integration at the University of Minnesota. For more information, please visit ici.umn.edu.